Jeff,
All right, guys.
to start off, we just spoke with one of your free agent acquisitions. What stood out to you about Tyus and fitting him into this team's offseason thoughts?
Well, one of our stated goals was to add skill, playmaking, shooting, obviously. And, Tyus has carved a niche for himself. I think he's led the league in assist-turnover ratio for the last 6 years. He's a career 38% three-point shooter, I think 41 for the last couple seasons. And more than that, just has a league-wide reputation of being just a stellar person in the locker room, off the court, in the community. And I think his leadership will be have an impact on our team in addition to everything that he's going to bring to bear on the court. So we're really excited to add him.
How gratifying is it to know that you got a veteran guard out there who has options, but he wants to come to a place like this that is clearly on the ascendant?
Yeah, it's funny, when we talk about free agency, I think there's this whole kind of concept of, the Magic should go get this guy or this team should go get that guy. There are a lot more teams than there are players. And it's really not who the teams want, it's who the players want. And so, I'm just very happy that Tyus chose us. He had a lot of teams chasing him. I think he saw the fit. I think that he understands how he's going to fit into what we're building here, not just on the court, but off it as well. So really excited about it.
How long has Tyus been on your radar, and what was that process like talking to him?
Well, there's a finite number of players in this league that kind of, meet the standards that you're looking for to improve in the areas that you want to improve. And he's obviously one of the guys that does what we were looking for really well. Obviously it's our job to, maintain relationships with agents across the board. And, once free agency started, we were able to have good discussions, find out that there was a mutual kind of desire to kind of maybe, link arms on this one and, proceeded to, get a deal done as quickly as we could.
Yep, Lowe signing became official like an hour ago.
Yeah.
It seemed like everybody wanted him back. We know how important he is to this organization. Just to get him to commit to coming back to this place, how big was that for you?
I'll just harken back to what I said a moment ago. I'm just thankful that Mo chose us. Mo has a lot of options. He's an important part of our team, and the fact that he, reinvested in us, is really gratifying to us, and we can't wait to, continue Mo's journey, in a Magic uniform, and excited to have him back.
How important was it to get a player like Tyus, kind of a stabilizer, like you mentioned, the high assisted turnover rate, the good assisted turnover ratio? How important was it to get that kind of a player to complete this picture as you prepare for the season?
Yep, we're going to find out. You put it together and it looks good on paper, and now that we got to play games, But the beauty of Tyus is like he's next level smart. He's simple. He's very concise. He just makes the right play. And, there's no ego attached to that. There's no I need to hit a home run attached to that. He just plays good basketball, and he elevates his teammates through those decisions and through the simplicity of his game. So, I think that he'll be a great influence on us playing good basketball, and also the selfless quality of his game will permeate through our team.
How about the leadership component he brings to what is still a pretty young roster?
Yeah, well, you guys just spoke with him, right? Pretty impressive guy. I mean, he's I think wise, poised, well beyond his years, and I think that's a welcome addition when you're as young as we are, and we have a very excitable, emotional team, and I think to have a guy who's steady and focused and the same guy every night, same guy every possession, will go a long way with us.
With the youth of the team and its improvement that the guys have shown and the pieces that you've now added, does this roster that you put together now for this upcoming season excite you maybe more than any other one you've had since you've been here?
Yeah, Shane. I mean, for me personally, since I've been here, I think this roster has a chance to do some special things, more so than any other that we've had since I've been here. So obviously, again, looks good on paper. You know, it's the job of our players and our coaches and all of our staff to bring everything we have to bear to get this team as far along as we can. And the nice thing about the team that I get excited about is it's still very young, and there's still a lot of growth baked in. And so I look forward to the next few years unfolding, but obviously starting right now.
Have there been positive progressions in talks with Paolo's contract situation?
Yeah, I won't get too deep into that, but I know, you know, obviously Paolo has stated publicly that, you know, he loves it here. He loves our fans. He loves our organization, wants to be a part of things. Obviously, he's tremendously important to what we're doing. So, you know, there's strong interest on both sides to get something done. We're in contact with his reps and hopeful to get something done.
How excited are you to see what the Summer League team is going to do out in Vegas?
Yeah, listen, Summer League is a great forum for the young guys to just dip their toe in the water. It'll get a little understanding of you know, what NBA basketball is about. You know, I always say, like, there's basketball IQ and then there's NBA IQ. And this is their first taste of what NBA IQ is about and how it's different from basketball IQ. So it's always great for these guys to go through. It's a great way to indoctrinate them and give them a little taste of it before they get to camp. I don't put, you know, too much value on it beyond that, but I think it's an important step for them, and it's a great way for them to understand what our coaches are expecting of them, develop relationships, develop shorthands, so that as they go through the summer, go into training camp, they're not coming in, you know, blind.
I don't know how much you listen to outside chatter and noise around the league, but the narrative around the league is that the Magic hit a home run this offseason with both players and reported coaching additions. Does that mean to you that the narrative around the league is they're doing a good job?
Zero. You know, I don't have social media. I don't tune into that stuff. You know, I always say, like, we have to run our own race, you know, and, you know, we're excited about this team in this building, and that's what matters. And what really matters is that our players are excited about it, you know. So, you know, there's a responsibility that comes with that we have to live up to now, you know. And so all of the external noise is going to be what it is, you know. We'll get criticized, we'll get praised, whatever. That's going to be what it is. We in this building have to make it work. So to me, that's the most important thing.
Okay.
Tyus, you obviously had choice of destinations. What stood out to you about Orlando and wanted you to be part of the Magic?
Yeah, I think just what they got going on. Everything's on the up and up. Continuing to get better each and every day. I think playing against them year in and year out, you see the camaraderie the team has. You see the togetherness they have. You see how Coach Mose, you know, coaches them and how they play hard for him. You want to be a part of those type of situations, and so I'm excited to be here.
What stands out to you about the talent that you're joining? Paolo, Franz, former teammate Desmond Bain. Just, I know you talked about a little bit of the characteristics, but what do you make of the team that you're joining?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, the talent's through the roof. I think this team has everything you need to win a championship, honestly. And so for me, I just I think it's going to be they're making my job easy. Not trying to overcomplicate it. Obviously, everyone knows what P can do. Everyone knows Franz continuing to get better each and every year. Took a huge step forward last year, and then Dez bringing, you know, transition scoring, 3-point shooting, obviously, but playmaking as well. And so I think all the pieces are just gonna, you know, kind of flow together. And I'm excited to see it all, you know, kind of come together.
Reuniting with Desmond, I know that was a big deal for both parties, but how special would that be to be back on the court with a guy that you shared so many special memories with?
Yeah, it'll be extremely special. That's my brother. We keep in contact. Since I left Memphis, you know, we still keep in touch throughout the season. You know, I've been on a couple different teams now, but still, you know, he still checks in on me. I check in on him. Was at his wedding last summer, so that's my brother beyond basketball. But getting the chance to share the court again is definitely special. We're gonna make the most of it, and we're looking forward to it.
And that chemistry already established, just how important will that be on the court with that?
Extremely important. You know, it's gonna be like riding a bike. You know, that doesn't go away, and we know what our chemistry is and what it can do and what that can bring to the table and just add to what's already going on, you know, here in Orlando, and looking forward to that.
You mentioned the talent on the roster, but there's also a lot of youth.
Mhm.
Can you talk about just the leadership qualities you'll bring?
Yeah, just trying to be, I think, just a calming voice. It's crazy going into year 11 now, but been around a number of different situations. So just trying to bring some of that experience to this locker room. And again, we got everything in this building that we need. For me, I'm just trying to add on to that. I'm not trying to disrupt anything. I'm trying to just be a positive addition. So, but ultimately, as a leader, like that's what I do on and off the court. That comes with the job title as a point guard. So just trying to get on the same page as everybody, trying to learn my guys, both on and off the court. Learn Coach Moses' system, and just kind of be an extension of him out there on the court. And but leading is what I do, and I'm looking forward to kind of being a voice in the locker room for sure.
You know who you are as a player, but what do you feel like you'll add to this team on the court?
Yeah, I mean leadership, just winning traits, trying to play winning basketball. I feel like I play the game the right way, trying to be unselfish, trying to set that tone, that brand of basketball, which they already play extremely unselfish and together. So that should be a perfect match. And then just playmaking, trying to get my guys involved, spacing the floor, shooting, trying to make it easier, for P, Franz, Dez, Jay. The more shooting, the better, the more space they got to operate. So just trying to keep defenses honest. And again, not overcomplicate anything, just trying to do my job, at a high level, and let our guys do what they need to do.
What is your relationship like with Jalen Suggs?
That's my little brother. I've known Jalen since, he was maybe third, fourth grade. So we got a tremendous relationship. I've always been in his corner, always cheering him on, and he's always been, cheering me on and been in the gym for me when I was coming up. So it's crazy how life works, and it's a surreal feeling when you get a chance to not only play against, people you kind of grew up with and saw grow up and got to kind of see their journey firsthand. But then when you get to share the court with them and be in the locker room and be on the same team, that's a whole different type of feeling. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Our families are excited about it. And so we know it'll be something special.
You mentioned Coach Moses a couple of times. Just from afar now meeting him, what are your impressions of who he is as a coach?
Yeah, just great guy, first and foremost. Family man, but just tough, hard-nosed worker. We were already been talking, just talking hoops, talking basketball, talking spacing, talking different actions. And so that has been something that I enjoy, but you can just tell he's working, he's watching film, he's studying the game, he's trying to continue to improve, himself as a coach, but as, he wants the team to improve as well. So, again, going back to having played against them the last few years, you see how the guys play for him and want to compete for him and follow his leadership. And so that's what I'm excited about.
How much of an emphasis was it for you in free agency to go to a team that is vying for a championship?
Big emphasis.
And how do you feel about the do you think that they can take that next step? And how do you work your way into that?
100%. I think, again, they've continued to get better year in and year out. Done it organically, not skipped steps, not, shied away from the process. But yeah, I think we got all the pieces that are needed to compete for a championship. It's just about coming together and continue to keep that big goal in mind, and continue to get better throughout the whole season. Not get bored with the process. Not get bored with success. Honestly, the season's it's a grind. It's a long season. A lot of ups and downs, injuries, illnesses. Like there's so many things that get thrown at you, but in the end, the most together team, always comes out on top. So that's just something that, again, I've noticed from the outside looking in, that this team has the camaraderie, the togetherness, how they play together, how they play hard. And so that's, what was why I wanted to be a part of it.